Hi guys, how we doing? Happy Monday. It is December 14th. I feel like this month is absolutely flying by. How do you guys feel about it? I feel like it just turned to December, but here we are and we're already 14 days in. It's just amazing to me. Hi Motorcrafts. Hi Kathy. Kathy, how's the sound? I did a little wiggle before anybody got here, so I'm hoping that I got it situated before anybody could notice. But yet I'm talking about it, drawing attention to it. Oh my goodness. So did everybody have a good weekend? I had a good weekend for the most part. I was busy on Saturday, but I did pretty much nothing yesterday. I take that back. I did take a nap yesterday, which was glorious, but I made some treats, right? I made some haystacks and I made some caramel cracker pecan chocolate something or another's. That's the official term for those. And they were a complete disaster. They taste good, but they were a disaster. So yeah, that's what I was doing right before we went live. Had to have a little quick pick me up for this afternoon. Hi Susie, hi Ramona, hi Rosanna. Oh golly, well here we are guys. Hi Ruth Balster. How are you, Ruth? Hi Stephanie. So guys, we are 3 weeks in, not just to December, but like 3 weeks into Destination North Pole. Can you believe that? Seriously, it's like this month is absolutely flying by. There is next week, and then the next week is Christmas, and then the next week is 2021. Like what? What happened? I blinked. Remember back in March and April and May, and we were like, this is the longest year ever. It's still like the longest year ever, but flying by here at the end. I don't know. So, yay, Rodrigo. Hi, Rodrigo. Rodrigo says Sarah came out of surgery successfully. Yay, all is well. That's good news. Fantastic. I am so glad that that is behind her now. I know the time has passed by like crazy. Okay, so, yeah, let's get started. Let's talk about some things, shall we? It does need to slow down just a little bit. Let's talk about, first and foremost, Destination North Pole, you guys. Tomorrow is the day between, right? Tomorrow is kind of like reset day. Tuesday is always reset day for me, but it is definitely reset day for you guys because, well, not necessarily, because Nilay's event is actually going on at the same time. So I forget that like everything is going on all at once. So I take that back. Tomorrow is not reset day for you. It isn't for me either because I'm watching Nilay's event too. But tomorrow there are no Facebook Lives here for Jesse James Speeds. However, Wednesday is Destination North Pole all day long. Lots of fun things going on. And there are 4 classes on this Wednesday, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to double check. Yeah, so it literally is an all-day event. And it is going to be super, super fun. I'm actually doing some finishing touches on our project. One of the projects right now is laid out on my desk. So yeah, I've got Destination North Pole on the brain. I hope the rest of you who are participating in Destination North Pole are having a great time and enjoying it. It's been so much fun. It really has been so much fun. I love seeing all of the designs that everybody recreates. It is just so cool to see everybody's kind of personalized twist on things. It's awesome. So that's what's going on this week, but that's not all that is going on this week. We still have our regular lives. So we've got a project right now, and then we have another project at 11 a.m. on Thursday. Both of these projects are going to be projects featuring some of the beads from the Magical Mystery Bead Box that you guys received just recently. That was the Hello Dolly Magical Mystery Bead Box. Guys, oh, so cool. Such a cool box. Really, really cool. And I've got 2 projects lined up for you guys that are like, it's kind of like the yin and the yang, the night and the day. I've got just really, really cool stuff. So Today's project we're making, they're both necklace projects actually. Today we're going to focus on the black and the gold. And then on Thursday, we're going to focus on the gold and the white. So we've got kind of like, we've got split personality designs this week, which I think is cool because they are both absolutely gorgeous and they're going to fit everybody. Like anybody can pull them off, but they're definitely going to speak to somebody else's personality more than the other, right? So we're going to start out with the dark this week, or this project, not this week. So we're going to be using this gorgeous strand, absolutely beautiful. So this is the Islands in the Stream strand, and we're going to be using Here You Come Again, the little mini mix, and we're also using the pendant. Now, I've already glued mine together, but there are two of these pendants in the Magical Mystery Bead Box, so I'm going to glue the other one together just to show you how I did mine, because everybody glues things a little bit differently. I'm going to show you just so that you can see, but this one's already done, so I can take pictures of the finished project. What else? Let's see. Oh, we have weekly deals. It's Monday, which means the weekly deals are brand new, which really is Monday, makes Monday kind of more than a Monday. Like, I don't want to say it makes Monday the best day of the week, because I would be stretching that just a bit. Everybody knows Mondays are just, you know, they're not the greatest, but the changing of the weekly deals is definitely the highlight of my Monday, and hopefully one of the highlights of yours. So Nicole says, I was singing Dolly songs for 2 weeks after receiving my box. I was too. And every now and then I find myself singing 9 to 5 just randomly, and it is definitely because of this box. Okay, so what are the weekly deals for this week? 30% off blue with a $49 cart, and the code for that is blue2020. The second weekly deal is free caged crystals with a $29 cart, and the code for that is free crystal. And then last but not least is buy 3 get 1 free on findings. Again, this is a really good time to be stocking up on jewelry findings. I know I've said it before, but it's true because we go through so many findings this time of year with all of the projects and holidays and events, and I go through findings like crazy. So stock up. The code for that is free find. How much coffee has Sarah had this morning? Well, it's actually 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'm drinking a diet Mountain Dew, so maybe a little caffeine. But you guys know, I'm always kind of, you know, perked up and ready to go. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Okay, so those are the weekly deals, and as always, if you forget what the weekly deals are, or you are just not sure about that coupon code, when you go over to the Jesse James Beads, you guys, when you go over to the Jesse James Beads website, you can click on the weekly deals and it will bring up each one of the deals, and you can shop this deal. That just kind of keeps the guesswork out. It makes it so that you don't have to question whether what you have in your cart or not is part of the deal or not. High on life. I am. What did I do? What did I do? I'm just being my regular bubbly self. Okay, so that's that. We've got all of the housekeeping out of the way. Let's get to today's project. So for the project, like I said, we're going to be using some of the black beads that were in the Magical Mystery Bead Box. And we are also going to be using some of the black seed beads from the Toho mixes, also available on the Jesse James Beads website. So I'm using black, and that is the one that is it's in the 3-tiered mix called Classic Coal. There are 3 colors in that one, but black is one of the colors. So if you need like neutrals, check out each one of those 3-tiered mixes of the Tohos, because I definitely consider blacks and the whites neutrals. So I always have Classic Coal on hand and Antique Lace because it has some good whites. So, okay, who's ready? I'm ready. I'm always ready, right? I mean, you guys are, you're already saying like, I'm out there. I'm already ready already. So let's do this. Let's create this project. This is going to be an easy one, but it's really, really pretty. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, let's get to it. Wanda says I hate spunk. Oh my goodness. Spunky Mondays. Oh, those were my notes. Excuse my notes, guys. Giving it a little wiggle, let me know. I would be more than happy, Miss Kathy, to give you some of this energy for Christmas. Oh, goodness. I save it up, don't you know, you guys? I save up all of this energy for you guys. Excuse me. Okay, so let's take a quick look, shall we? Wiggle, wiggle. Do I need to wiggle again? Because I did wiggle it, but just let me know, okay? The wiggle worked. Hooray! Awesome. Okay, so this is the gorgeous strand. Guys, there were 2 strands in this month's Magical Mystery Bead Box, and we are going to be using the black one for today's project. Just really, really pretty. I love it because it has the big boys on here, and that would be these big glass faceted beads. Those are called big boys, and they certainly are that. Just really, really beautiful. There's some cage beads on here. The bohos are super special as well. They've got the rhinestone running through them, so we're going to use several of the beads. Actually, I think we're using everything in the strand except for the cage beads, which you can use for earrings that I think would look really beautiful to go with this necklace. Okay, and we're going to be using Here You Come Again. That is the little mini mix. I'm going to go ahead and dump this one out into my bowl. So we're going to be using several of the beads from this as well. So we're going to use a little bit of both. And you guys, for those of you who have not subscribed to the Magical Mystery Bead Box, or if you had previously subscribed but are unsubscribed at the moment and did not get to get the Hello Dolly box, you can grab this over on the website under What's New. Just be sure that when you click on What's New, you scroll down just a little bit. And just a side note, guys, the Magical Mystery Bead Boxes make amazing gifts as well. So always keep that in mind. If there's a beader in your life that would absolutely love to have a surprise, box of beads and goodies once a month, this is a really, really good way to give them a gift. It's like from National Lampoon's The Jelly Club. Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving. And that's exactly how I feel about the Magical Mystery Bead Box. All right, keep asking for the wiggle anyway. You guys crack me up. Okay, so here are the gorgeous beads. The light is adjusting, which is good, good, good. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the pendants because, like I said at the beginning, I've already glued mine together. This is going to be the pendant that we're going to use for this necklace, but because there are 2 of these pendants in the box, it makes it easier for me to, glue one, have it ready, and then show you how to glue one. So they do look different. We've got 2 very different personalities here. Still gorgeous. So this one, the one that we're using for our necklace, is this antique brass with the beautiful blue bead in the center. This one is antique silver, and you have that AB finish that is just absolutely gorgeous. Don't mind my finger smudges on there. But so pretty. And honestly, you can mix these up. You don't have to put this crystal with this pendant. You could do them either way if you wanted to. But for our project today, this one matches our design the best. Okay, so I am going to show you guys just quickly how to glue this in for those of you who maybe get a little nervous when it comes to glue and jewelry. And I totally can relate, okay? I totally can relate. It can be kind of intimidating to mix glue with your jewelry because, anything can happen. So here's what I'm going to do. I normally just take a little bit of the glue and just put it on a surface. This was my note card, so I don't ever work from the tube. Even when I've got a tube that has the little, the precision tip, I still do it this way. And then I use a scrap of wire, which you guys know I always have scraps of. You can see this one, I used the other end for gluing that one. But I'm going to use this little end. You can use a toothpick or whatever you want to. Wire scraps, I figure most of us have these handy. So Stephanie says, what kind of glue? I'm actually using E6000 for this. E6000 is pretty much the most readily available. In fact, I think that there is E6000 over on the Jesse James Beads website if you need some glue. I'm pretty sure I remember Sara saying that last week. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I am using the E6000. This is just a general all-purpose jewelry making glue. It dries clear. It's really good stuff. Okay. So I like to just take a little bit of the glue on the very end of my piece of wire, and you'll notice that the setting for this is open in the back. So that's why I don't like to use the glue directly from the tube, because all we need is for the glue to go around these little edges, right? We want that to be along the edging of the setting. And we also don't want to use a whole lot of this, because we don't want a big clumpy mess once we lay that crystal down in the setting. So just a little thin layer is really all you need. Okay. And the good news is that even if you use a little bit more than you should and it squeezes out the sides, if you work quickly, you can clean it up, you know, but don't let it sit for too long, okay? Don't let it sit for too long, because then when you go to clean it up, you might accidentally pull your crystal out of the setting, okay? All right, so that's all the glue I'm going to use. Like, that's just a tiny, tiny, thin little layer. I tried to get it as even as I possibly could, but you know, I just want to be sure that there's enough there to hold it in place, but not so much that we make a big glue glob mess. So just sit your crystal down and then put your finger on it and look back here at the back. And you can see I don't have any major seepage from the glue. And if you do have any little seepage, now is the time to kind of clean it up. So definitely just kind of scrape at it with your fingernails or another piece of wire just to get that cleaned off of there. Again, the E6000, when it dries, it's kind of rubbery. It's a soft glue, so it doesn't dry hard and crackly like a super glue will. So because of that, if you pull on an edge of the E6000, sometimes you'll just pop the whole thing out, just because it just creates kind of that kind of seal. So just be mindful of that. Clean it up ahead of time if you've got it coming out the edges here or on the back. Do that way before it starts to cure. Now, as far as how long to let this sit, I would probably give this 30 minutes before I actually started working with this in a piece of jewelry, and a good 24 hours at least overnight before I actually wore it. So even if it feels like it's in there and it's not going to move around, you still need to let it sit overnight before you actually wear this around. I mean, you know, because you're taking into consideration gravity and that whole bit, and you just don't want to risk it, right? Because then that means more glue and you have to clean the setting, and that's just not fun. So be patient and let your glue dry. All right, so we've got our little pendants glued, and I just want to lay them out and kind of look at them because they're so pretty. Aren't they beautiful? Two totally different personalities. It's amazing to me because the design is exactly the same, right? The settings are exactly the same, but what a different look you get just by changing the stones. Like, even if we mixed them and put the AB over here and the antique brass and the black over here, you would still get such a different combination. So I feel like these are just really, really pretty. I really enjoyed getting these in my Magical Mystery Bead Box this month. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I thought it was super cool to have these. Okay, I kind of built my necklace around it, to be honest with you. I was that inspired by the pendant. Okay, so we're just going to do a simple stringing project, but we are going to do kind of something that I don't think we've ever really done. And it's not hard, it's just kind of a different technique. We are going to be using some bead stringing wire, so grab your favorite. I'm using silver, even though I should be using gold, just because I can't find any of my gold bead stringing wire. You're really not going to see any of this, so all of my findings are going to be gold colored, but just forgive me that my bead stringing wire is silver for this. So we are going to use a little bit of seed beads. We're not going to use a lot, just a little. I'll go ahead and put some of these guys in our bowl. This guy's been hanging around for a while. Put him back in there. Okay, And I'm also going to go ahead and cut my strand so that I've got all the beads I need right here where I can get to them. Okay, so we're actually going to start in the middle with our design. So the very first thing that I want to do is find the jump ring that I have lost. I'm going to put a jump ring on our pendant. So I'm just going to use a gold colored jump ring using a 6mm. You can use a 4mm if you want to, but a 6mm is just as good as any. Okay, and just close that back. So I've got a nice jump ring on here. That's going to give me a little extra room, a little more room than a 4mm would. I just want to be sure that I have, you know, nice movement here and that it's not super, super tight. Okay, so we're going to start in the middle, and I know that might sound kind of weird, but we're going to be working on both sides of our bead stringing wire. I'm actually going to thread on 3 of the black seed beads, and I'm going to drop those to the middle of the bead stringing wire. Now, as far as the bead stringing wire is concerned, you're probably going to need to be about, I don't know, maybe 14 inches. That might be a little bit more than you need, but you want to be sure that you have plenty, particularly if you're going to change it up and use different beads than I do. Always keep in mind that different size beads, you know, take up a different amount of room on the bead stringing wire. Okay, so here are our 3 little seed beads. These are going to serve as the center of our necklace. And I'm going to go ahead and thread on our pendant. And this is actually going to hang once we start putting this all together. This is actually going to hang on top of, and actually, you know what? Let's make it 4 seed beads. I think I did 3 before, but let's do 4 just in case it wiggles its way in between. You know what I'm talking about? You'll see. but just do 4. Just do 4. Do 4 little seed beads. All right. So we've got just a little area of small beads where once everything is strung, that jump ring is actually going to sit on top of those seed beads. So that jump ring is not actually going to touch the bead stringing wire, which is what I'm going for. Okay. I don't want that jump ring to touch the bead stringing wire or to get in between. See how it's popped in between the 2 seed beads? I don't want that to happen because this guy is going to move around. And if it's moving around and it comes in contact with that bead stringing wire, it can cause abrasion and eventually wear away that coating that's on the outside of your bead stringing wire. And that is going to be that'll make a weak spot in your necklace, and it could eventually break right there. So I really want to be sure that that jump ring is not going to be touching the bead stringing wire. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to kind of build out on either side from there, and the seed beads are going to travel a little bit, and that's fine until we get everything lined up like we want. So in the mix are these cool little, they're kind of like it's like a star cut, but it's kind of a twisted star cut. There are several of these. I'm going to grab 8. I think that's all that there were. I think there were just 8. Okay. And I'm going to put these on either side of our seed beads. So again, we're working from the center outwards. So you always want to kind of be mindful that you've got the same amount of bead stringing wire on either side as well. Okay. So we've got that, and now we're going to alternate. We're going to do a seed bead and one of these, a seed bead and one of these on either side. Okay. And I'm just going to do the left first instead of going back and forth. So good to see everybody. I hope you guys are having a good start to your week so far. All right, so that's one side. Now I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to bring the 2 sides together. Okay. I had a good weekend, Maggie. How was your weekend? I made junk food and napped and watched football and laid around in my pajamas. I actually worked on Saturday. I had some design work I needed to finish up, but yesterday I laid around and gave myself a break. Joan says she's making along with me, just a different set of beads. I love it. I love that. I love it when we're beading together. Okay, so here we go. Just to kind of take a look at what we've got so far, right? Now, I'm going to bring these together to make a little loop, and that's going to be kind of like the bail for our pendant, right? It's just a beautiful little centerpiece here for our necklace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both ends of my bead stringing wire and I'm going to thread them through one singular bead. I'm going to use one of the black rondelles that is in the little mini mix, and I'm going to take both ends of the bead stringing wire going in the same direction. Okay, we're not crisscrossing, they're going in the same direction. And then I want to pull, and again, you want to be, I've wrapped around a cord. You want to be sure that you're intentionally making it so that you have even bead stringing wire on either side. Okay, don't start working and then all of a sudden realize that one side is a good 6 inches shorter than the other. You want to be sure that you've got pretty even bead stringing wire on both sides. All right, so we've got this beautiful centerpiece. Is that not pretty? I mean, I could stop right now, crimp it, put a jump ring on it, put it on a piece of chain, and that'd be gorgeous. Like, I'm just saying, it's all about these beads. They're so dang pretty. So pretty. The pendant is so pretty. Oh, Maggie says she got to see her granddaughter play basketball on Zoom. That's so awesome. I love that. Thank goodness for technology, right? I mean, I know we complain about it. Everybody's got their nose in their phones, but during this weird season in our lives, you know, thank goodness for the technology that we have. Sorry, I was reading another comment. Let's see. Becky says, so it's better. Hold on. That comment keeps bouncing away because they go by so fast. So Becky says, so it's better for the pendant to go over the seed beads and not the wire. Good to know, because I keep trying to make necklaces where the pendant doesn't go over the beads. No, you definitely have a better time. That's why seed beads are so cool. Seed beads are like, I know a lot of people are like, ooh, seed beads are so evil. They're so tiny. And they really are. And I have a love-hate relationship with seed beads, but they are a great way, like in this case, to cover the wire so that there aren't any moving parts touching the wire. You know, it's just a really good kind of safety measure. And when you use the black, like I did with these black beads, they kind of just disappear. It's not like I've used, you know, a neon green bead that really jumps out. You want to find seed beads that you can use. Yeah, you can use colors if you want to, but it's cool to, you know, to find, if you're one of the cool kids, I'm totally kidding, to find seed beads that, you know, they kind of disappear into your design so that the larger beads are still really the star of the show. All right. So now we're going to go and start building either side of our necklace, and I'm actually going to put 5 seed beads on either side here. And the reason that I'm going to do that, I'll show you here in just a second. Again, this is a situation where having the seed beads kind of solves a problem. Always think about your seed beads. Like, even if you're not a seed beader, it's always good to have them on hand because they really are little problem solvers. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here in just a second. Let me go ahead and get the 5 over here on the other side. All right, so I've got 5 seed beads on either side. What is happening is they are opening up the space here, right? Because seed beads are small, they don't take up a whole lot of room at all. And if I tried to go ahead and string two big beads right here side by side, one on one side, one on the other, they would kind of crowd each other out, and that would make our bead stringing wire kind of sneak out in between there. It would kind of create an open space where you really could see the bead stringing wire. I don't want any of that open space. So I'm going to use the seed beads as kind of that separation. Now the two strands are far enough apart that I can put two bigger beads and they're not going to be crowding each other out, right? So my seed beads were my little problem solvers. And I'm going to grab some beads from the mix. I'm going to use two bead caps and one of these. And same thing on the other side, two bead caps and one of these guys. Okay, that looks like a licorice jelly bean. Don't eat it. I mean, I know you won't, but I feel like sometimes I gotta be like, it's probably more for myself than you guys. You guys know I snack all the time, but do you guys ever snack while you're working and accidentally pick up a bead? Like if you're eating something small like peanuts or, you know, something like that, don't accidentally put a bead in your mouth. I have done that more than once, actually. So yeah. All right, so I'm just going to do the same thing over here on the other side. And this will also kind of show you visually what I mean about the seed beads, kind of keeping those two beads in their own lane, right? Because even though those are not huge beads, if I didn't put those extra seed beads in there, they would still be like right up against each other, right? And I want there to be some clear definition between the strands and not any openings for that bead stringing wire to sneak out and be visible, okay? So now we're just going to continue building the sides of our necklace here. So I'm going to use some of the beads from the strand as well. So I'm going to put on one of these gorgeous bohos on either side. And I'm just going to kind of mix, you know, a little bit from the mix and a little bit from the strand. Takes a minute for it's like the bead stringing wire gets kind of lost inside the boho, so. There's a lot of open space in there. Okay, bead stringing wire, come on now. Let's go, come on. I hear the mailman. The mail, you guys, right now, I don't know if any of you are trying, just as I'm like trying to thread this on here. Yes, my snack craves have no limits. Excuse me. If anybody is trying to mail things right now, it is an absolute disaster. And I mean that, like, I know it's the holidays, but it's also, you know, like in my area in particular, COVID is really, really bad. So it's so bad that I got a message from USPS today telling me, it was an apology letter, basically letting me know that, you know, they were understaffed. And so if you're waiting on packages or you are about to mail something, just take that into consideration. Like, nothing is going to get there quick, just so you know. I've been waiting on some packages for a week and a half now that should have been here, you know, in about 2 days. Karen says she mailed all of her presents and cards today. Hopefully they'll get there. You've got plenty of time. Like, as far as that is concerned, I think you've got plenty of time. But if you are waiting, you know, from like a big business, no way. I think the only place you're going to get anything in time is going to be from Amazon. But like, if you've got to order something from somebody, oof, I hope it gets to you in time. Like, it's crazy. All right, so just going to keep adding some beads. Now, you guys know I'm just kind of picking the beads that I like. I mean, I like them all, but picking my favorites from the strand and the mix and just mixing them up. You guys know you can always do this in whatever order you want to. You don't ever have to put things in the same, you know, order as I do. I'm just giving you a little inspiration, that's all. I just thought it was crazy when I woke up this morning and I had like an official email from the post that was like, Just letting you know. Your mail is not going to get here. It's, like, it's bad when the post office is like reaching out to you, because they normally don't do that. I did have a big package delivered today. I bought, he's not watching, so it's okay. I bought my husband a new chair. And I had been replacing this chair. Like, ever since we moved into this house, it seems like I replace this chair every 2 years. And so this year I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to buy a really expensive, nice chair, and hopefully it will last a whole lot longer. So that's what I got him. His birthday is on the 23rd. Christmas Eve is the 24th, and then Christmas. So he always, like, he never gets like a good birthday. So I figured this chair would kind of make up for that. But anyway, the point of the story is that it got delivered today, and the guy who delivered it to the wrong house, and then comes to my door and rings the doorbell, and he's like, I just want to let you know your package is here. I delivered it to your neighbor's house and I walked it over. And I'm looking at this box, and it's like, I mean, it's got a recliner in it. Like, we're talking a humongous box. And he was like, I looked down the street and his truck is parked like, several houses down. I'm like, you just walked this? What kind of monster? Are you eating your Wheaties? Like, what do you have for breakfast that you can just single-handedly just carry this enormous box down the street? That's just crazy to me. I was impressed. That story was probably better kept in my head and probably not nearly as entertaining, but it was funny to me. I was like, whoa, dude, how? Okay, so I've got my necklace here. Let me lift this up a little bit, because I know it's hard for you guys to see, but I do want you to kind of get an idea of like how I laid this out, the beads that I picked. And of course, you guys can use whichever beads you want to in any order that you want to. But isn't that pretty? Like, we're not even doing crazy technical things here. And it doesn't always have to be crazy technical things. Like, we're not doing anything other than just stringing. We did a little something different down here, right? We started in the center instead of starting on one end and made ourselves a little loop, but it's all the same piece of bead stringing wire. And we used our little seed beads as our problem solvers, and I just think it turns out really, really pretty. Now, to finish this off, I'm going to do seed bead loops. You guys have seen me do those before. You don't have to do the seed bead loops if you don't want to. You can certainly just go ahead and crimp, and add jump rings. But I am going to do some seed bead loops just to kind of tie the whole seed bead thing together, right? So I'm going to get 2 crimps here. I'm using crimp tubes, and I'm going to take a crimp bead, a crimp tube, whichever one you want to use. I'm going to thread that on to one side of my bead stringing wire, and I'm going to thread on 28 of the seed beads. And that is an oddly specific number, but that's just what I ended up with yesterday. So 28 it is today. Oops. There's 12. And your my crimp bead has snuck down inside this bead. I'll get it out here in just a second. There's 24. I need 4 more to go. Sorry, this part is the longest part, is just the seed beads, and it's just because you have to do the seed beads, you know, one at a time, and that's not particularly exciting to watch. But I mean, it's better than sitting here and watching me do like 100. So, all right, so 28 seed beads. That's going to make my loop. There's my crimp. It got kind of lost inside that bead. All right, so now I'm going to take my bead stringing wire and I'm going to thread it back through my crimp bead, right? And then I'm going to pull. Try not to lose that crimp bead again, because it will try to sneak down inside that bead if yours has the size hole on it that mine does. Okay, so now I've got a little loop here out of seed beads. I kind of love these. I don't know why. I've been doing these a lot this year, and you guys have seen me use this on a lot of projects, but I just kind of like it. I don't know what it is about it, but it's a fun little way to use your seed beads. So I'm going to go ahead and put that crimp into my crimper tool, and then kind of pull everything down. Just holding it in the crimper tool is really kind of helping to keep that crimp bead from, you know, sliding down in there. What size beads do you use, Lizzie? So these are size 11 seed beads, and they come in a 3-pack that you can grab over on the Jessie James Beads website, and there's a whole bunch of really cool colors. You should go check them out. All right, so I've got my crimp bead placed, or my crimp tube rather, in the back notch of my crimper tool, okay? And you want to make sure that those bead stringing wire is not crossing each other inside the crimp, and give it a squeeze. Okay, then you want to take it and place it in the front notch of the crimper tool and side to side and give it a squeeze. That's just going to kind of tidy up your crimp. I think so too. It adds just a little extra something fun to the ends. I don't know, just really been liking the way that looks. It's a really cool connection, right? For connecting your necklace to something else. I like it. I'm a fan. All right, now we just want to do the exact same thing over here on the other end, and that will do it. We're going to add some chain reaction to this. That was included in the kit, and we're going to have a beautiful necklace. I think it really, really turned out beautifully and not super hard, right? Who needs complicated? There's so many things going on right now. The holidays and all of the events, and let these lives this week where you come to see me here on Jessie James Beads that aren't part of the event, let these be kind of like brain candy, if you will. This is design candy. Just, you know, it's a treat instead of we're not learning anything hard. Is what I'm trying to say here. All right, so I'm going to do 28 more seed beads. There's 3. Goodness. Okay, that's why. That's why I was picking them up one at a time before. Uh-oh. Now they're just falling all over the place. And now I've lost count. Of course I did. Of course I did. Okay, let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. 17, 18. 1. Whoops. Oh goodness, these seed beads. We have one of those relationships. Can't live with them, can't live without them. Driving me crazy. Okay, so there's all my seed beads, and now I'm ready to crimp again Gotta find my crimp bead. It snuck down inside the black bead. There we go. Okay. And pull everything down. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put that crimp bead into the crimper tool, even though I have some room here. But I'm going to do that just so that I can get my fingers out of the way and then kind of pull everything down. Oh gosh, Karen. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. All right, so I've got my crimp in the crimp tool. Give it a good squeeze. Okay. And then turn it sideways and put it in the front and squeeze. And then we're just going to trim this off. And voila, our necklace part is done. Now, let me tell you about just some thoughts here, okay? I pulled out some chain reaction that was part of the Magical Mystery Bead Box, and it's in red. And I realized there's no red in this necklace at all, and I am totally okay with that because I feel like it's just beautiful, and I don't care that there's not any red in the front portion of the necklace, okay? However, you can, and I think this is kind of cool, okay? You can use whatever you want to as far as your length is concerned. Anything you want. Piece of leather, piece of ribbon, a plain piece of chain, another beaded section, whatever, and put a lobster clasp on either end, right? And hook your lobster clasps to your little seed bead loops here, and then you can change it out. So like if one day you're feeling like, oh yeah, I'd like to have some of that red, that pop of red from the chain reaction, I'm going to put the chain reaction on here. And then if you're not feeling the red another day and you want to use just a plain piece of leather, just put your leather and attach it to either end here. So I think maybe that's why I like the seed bead loops, because I know any piece of jewelry technically can be interchangeable, but I feel like it really is such an option when you've got your seed bead loops here, because you literally could just hook whatever you wanted to it, right? You could hook on a whole nother length, a different kind of length to change the entire look. You could even hang like extra things from it if you wanted to. So just a thought. I mean, you know, it's kind of a last minute thought, but you know, you never know. For me though, for right now, I'm just going to attach it with a jump ring. And of course, you can always change that out too. I mean, it's not like jump rings are permanent by any means, but having lobster clasps on either side makes it kind of cool, because you don't have to have any tools, right? You just open and close the lobster clasp and you can change out whatever length for the necklace you want, which is kind of neat. All right, so there we go. This is our necklace. I know it's hard to see here on the mat, but I am going to put it on the bust so that you guys can see it. I'll turn you around and we will be done for the day. So let me go ahead and turn you around first and wiggle the audio. That always seems to be the biggest challenge here, is just the audio. All right, let me know if it sounds okay. Okay, and grab the bust, put our necklace on here. I feel like this just turned out to be really, really pretty. And, you know, and not hard at all. Nancy says, what does your bracelet say? One of them says, stay weird, and the other one says, be you, which is kind of the motto for Sara Ellis Designs, is be you. And stay weird is pretty much the exact same thing as be you, at least in my world. So, all right, so here we go. Here is our necklace. Now, again, not hard, right? We just did some simple stringing. We've got that loop concept, right? It's kind of going all through the design. So not only is it here in the focal, but it is also up here in the kind of the top. It's not really the top, but in the front top of our design. We've got all of these gorgeous beads, that really fun pendant from the Magical Mystery Bead Box. Just a really cool look that was relatively easy to do. And I definitely showed you how to use your seed beads as like your problem solvers, right? Hopefully I'm getting some of you to the point where when you look at seed beads, you don't use your sentence enhancers anymore. You're actually looking at them and thinking, okay, I can use these in other ways. I don't have to have a needle and thread. I can string with these. I can wire wrap with these. I can do other things with seed beads. You know, and they really can be helpful if you just give them a chance. And fortunately for all of us, there's a beautiful selection of them over on the Jessie James Beads website. So, you know, while you're over there shopping on stuff, grab some seed beads, put them in your cart. Maybe it's the first seed bead purchase you've ever made in your life. You just hated seed beads forever, but maybe I've kind of changed your mind. I don't know. I hope so. No bead left behind. And then as far as the links, I just have the chain reaction from the kit, but or from the Magical Mystery Bead Box, but you absolutely can change that up to make it whatever you want it to. I hope you guys enjoyed this design. I think it turned out really, really pretty. Definitely not like a you know, not a super technical, but like I said, there is so much going on. First of all, Mondays, I always try to keep the designs fairly easy, but with so many, like the Destination North Pole event is going on and Nilay's event is going on, and there are some other things going on in the industry as well. I feel like there is a lot of education that is happening. So let this live just be like a snack. Right? Like I said, it's just brain candy. You come, hang out, see a little something, get inspired, but it's not something super complicated. You can certainly replicate this with the beads that you have in your Magical Mystery Bead Box, or you can use your favorite Jessie James beads to recreate this look as well. And, you know, just a little snack, a jewelry design snack. So there you go. All right, guys, Carmen says she missed it. We'll catch the replay. Definitely catch the replay. We had a good time. It was a pretty piece, and I like it. I think I'm going to wear it. So, all right, have a wonderful rest of your Monday, you guys. I will see some of you over on the Silver Silk event later on for the second class for today. The rest of you guys, I will see those of you who are attending Destination North Pole. I will see you on Wednesday for those classes. And if not, I will see you on Thursday morning, 11 a.m. right here. I've got another fun necklace, easy necklace project with the Magical Mystery Bead Box, but in a completely different kind of personality. So don't want to miss that. Come hang out with us. We always have a good time. Have a wonderful rest of the day, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.